Hi there, I'm Amy with Following Hawks, and I'm so glad you made your way here and are interested in learning more about how to set energetic boundaries for your home and your property and clearing up some energies that might be hanging around. So before we get to the meditation, I just want to share a couple of things. Um, First of all, when we're talking about spirits or energies, I tend to put them in two categories. So, category one is spirits who have not crossed over. They are people who died and did not understand or did not want to transition and, as we might say, go into the light. And so, oftentimes, it's just because they don't understand how. And that's another topic for another day. But that's why they're hanging around. They don't really know where else to go. They're not sure how to move on. And so many times they're just kind of continuing to behave as if they were alive. So most of them have no ill will or ill intent at all. But they are lower vibrational. They are not connected to source energy. And so they need to draw on the energy of living humans in order to continue this way. So it's not healthy to have them hanging around your house. So what we want to do is, through this meditation, get your home to a place where it's more of an energetically neutral place and not so busy if you do have a lot of spirit activity. So the other type of spirit would be spirits who have transitioned and are connected to source energy. And those spirits will still potentially, come and check in on you or, come to you in your dreams, but they're not hanging around in a way that they shouldn't be or lowering the vibration in the space. So what we're going to work on is clearing out any lower vibe not connected to source energies. So there's a couple of reasons why they might specifically be in your house or in your space. Number one is that nobody's told them they can't be there. So that's what we're going to do. They will tend to kind of collect in spaces that humans aren't using as much. So that's why people think basements are creepy oftentimes, or garages or barns or outbuildings that don't get used on a regular basis. It's just not uncomfortable for them to hang out there. So that's where they hang out. And then over time, it gets creepy. So, so that's the first one. Just nobody's told them they can't be there. And then it's possible you could have some type of portal energy anywhere nearby. It doesn't necessarily have to be in your house, but it can be in your house. And that could be letting in lower vibe energies into your space. If you have a really heavy flow of like constant spirits and all different spirits, that could be what's happening. And then, they may have a specific connection to your home. Oftentimes people have figured this out if you've lived in your home for a while, like, oh, this was somebody who used to live here or who died in the house and or somewhere nearby. And so they're just still hanging around. So what we need to do is, number one, set some boundaries in the space. So it's always a good habit to open the windows in your house on a regular basis, once a week, every couple weeks, depending on how much activity you have, and do whatever your favorite clearing technique is. So this could be burning sage or Palo Santo. It could be playing a singing bowl or using a rattle or, some kind of sound instrument. All kinds of different ways to clear energy, but you want to do it with the intent that anything not connected with source energy is to leave your space now. And so start with that. That is a good space to be in, to be setting your boundaries and saying what is allowed in your space and what is not. So, and then what we're going to do next is the meditation to call in guardian spirits. And basically what these spirits are, it's like outsourcing security. So just like if you're a celebrity and it gets to the point that you can't really maintain all the people kind of coming and going into your personal space, and you would hire a security guard or a security team to help you, you're doing the same thing in spirit. It at some point becomes too much work and energy for you to be constantly maintaining who's in my house right now, do they belong here, where did they come from, a lot of times you don't need to do all of that. You just want them to move on out of the space. And so you're basically going to hire spirits whose job it is to take care of that. You can set whatever rules you are comfortable for setting with them. Personally, I have rules about like no earthbound spirits in my house, and earthbound being not connected to source. If they're a ghost, which is an earthbound spirit, they got to go. They can't stay in my house. So I pretty much have a rule for my guardian spirits on my property. If a ghost shows up, just take care of it. You don't have to ask my permission. You don't have to check in with me. I don't need them here. They can go. So that's up to you. I also have some other personal rules as far as like no spirits touching me. I don't want them to touch me. So no touching, no coming into my bedroom at night and waking me up. So just think through what kind of boundaries you want to have for your space. And then think through who else lives in your space that you may need to have some house rules for. If you have anyone else doing any kind of spiritual work, or if you have children who are very curious or interested or connected in this way, you're going to want to engage them in some kind of discussion and, decide what's age appropriate for them. If they're a little bit older, let them watch this video and understand the pieces. But their curiosity and willingness to be open to spirit can oftentimes bring the lower vibe spirits closer to them, and that makes them fearful. And the more fearful they are, the more low vibe spirits are magnetized to that. So it becomes this like very frightening, self-fulfilling prophecy once you're in that loop. And so this process of working with guardian spirits can be very, very empowering for kids. And I have had people tell me that after they've done this meditation, that their kids are able to see the spirits and say, oh, who's that? And feel very safe with knowing that the spirit's there. So again, decide whether or not you want them to do this with you, or, if it's a conversation you want to have, but you'll want to have some house rules on what spirits are allowed in and out. Because if you have one rule that says everybody's got to go and somebody else has a rule that is letting them in, they're going to override each other, and it's going to continue to be kind of chaotic and confusing. So those are my notes for this. Please do also note that the guardian spirits need to be called by the people who live in this particular place. So you can't call a guardian spirit for somebody else's house that you don't live at. They would show up and then they would leave as soon as you were gone. So in my experience, these are very, very respectful spirits, and they mean business, but they will not overstep their bounds, and they will follow your instructions perfectly. So they don't want to step on anyone else's toes by going to a house that is somebody's house that's not asked for them to be there. So just keep that in mind. This does need to be for your home. So let's get started. I do like working with essential oils in my meditations because they help raise my vibration. My favorite one for this type of work is from Young Living. It's called White Angelica, and it is the #1 protection oil. So when I'm doing any kind of work around protection, I will just put a drop in my hands, rub my hands together, and inhale deeply a couple of times. So I'll just do that before I begin a meditation. So if you like to work with oils, you can pause this video and do that. And then go ahead and get comfortable, seated wherever you'd like to be, and close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. When you feel centered and relaxed, I want you to call into your mind's eye however it is that you enter the place that you live. So it could be your driveway, or it could just be your front door if you're in an apartment or a condo. But imagine in your mind's eye that place where you enter what you would consider your personal space separate from the public. And when you have that picture in your mind, set an intention and request in your mind or out loud that you would like guardian spirits to come now and provide protection for your home. And give it a minute, even if you can't see anything, and know that by making the request, it's happening. And if you can see them, most likely they will be standing on either side of the entrance to your driveway or your front door. And there could be some others, but these will be your main guardian spirits. So thank them for coming. Now, again, either out loud or in your mind, let them know that they have your permission to clear and protect your property from any low vibration energies that may be present now or at any time in the future. And now ask them if there are additional spirits that they would like to call to assist them in protecting your home and property. And if so, give them permission to call them all in now. And you may see spirits lining up around the edge of your property or outside your home. Maybe a wall of light, could be all kinds of things. But just know that they've put the call out for whoever they need. Now, ask the guardians to do a sweep of the property and remove anything on the property or in your home that is not connected to source energy or there for your highest and best good. And they can send anything back to source energy that they collect. Now ask them if there's anything else they need going forward to help keep your property and your home safe and protected. And take a moment and offer your gratitude to them for doing this important job. And now you can leave them to do their work. And slowly come back into your body, into the space you're sitting now. Take a deep breath in and out. And when you feel complete, you can open your eyes. Okay. I hope you enjoyed that meditation. I would suggest in the first week after this that you check in with the guardians a couple of times. Usually, they initially want to make sure that they understand exactly what they can and can't do. So, you could even sit down and make a list on a piece of paper, and with the intention that those are your house rules or property rules. And after a little while, they will take care of things without a lot of fanfare. And anytime I see something that maybe concerns me a little bit, I just in my head say, Guardians, can you take care of that? And they swoop right in and take care of it. So it's nice to know you have their help and their support, and can get your home to a nice, calming environment that you can feel comfortable in. So thank you again so much for being here, and I will see you soon. Bye.